Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We are heading back into r/AmITheDevil, and if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. Also, if you guys would like to save 10% on your next order of gamer subs, use code Tommy at checkout, or click the link down below. It'll automatically apply the discount at transaction, and it helps support the channel. Thank you. Am I overreacting? Wife will not compromise on haircut. My wife and I are both not neurotypical, ADHD and autism, but we usually have a very happy marriage. That has been going strong for 9 years now. We managed to handle our respective quirks fairly well in that time, but now I'm hitting a pretty serious issue concerning her hairstyle. She's always been more liberal than me, which I am fine with. She dyes her hair purple, she has a lot of piercings and tattoos, she is obese and doesn't want to change, because she doesn't want to conform to societal beauty standards. That has all been mostly fine with me. I don't get to control her looks, and she doesn't get to control mine. But I cannot freaking stand her favorite haircut. It's not even that I hate short hair, she only goes to the hairdresser every few months or so. In the meantime, her hair grows out to 2 or 3 inches, which I'm fine with. I think she would look better with long hair, but it's her decision. But then she goes to the hairdresser and it just sucks. She gets a cut that basically looks exactly like mine, but even shorter. Like 2 millimeters on the side and maybe 5 on the top. It makes her look like a prison camp inmate, and I hate it. I tried telling her straight up that I think it looks horrible, and I would prefer that she keep it slightly longer. I'm not asking for shoulder length or a bob or anything. Just please not that horrible buzz cut. She completely ignored that and got the exact same cut a few months later. I'm not gonna lie, I got pretty angry. I never asked her for anything in that regard. She can have whatever cut she wants, as long as it's not this horrible one. But she doesn't care. I tried to explain that this is a horrible trigger for me, the only one that we found in my case so far. We had a row about it that led nowhere. I needed a bit of time to cool off, and after a few days, I could at least somewhat tolerate it. A few months later, she did it again, only she didn't tell me before because she knew that I would hate it. I had a pretty bad reaction to it. I couldn't even look at her for a week. She knew that I hated it. She knew it affected me mentally, that she just did it anyway. She doesn't care because she wants to stand on principle. That she likes it that way, and I can go pound sand. It took almost 2 weeks until I could look at her again, and we made up. Yesterday, she told me that she was going to get her hair cut again tomorrow. It's gonna be that bad prison look again. Also, we are in the process of buying a house together right now. Also, her cat, when we moved in together, we each had a cat, mine died years ago, is very old and has been doing worse and worse lately, so the vet might put him down at the next appointment tomorrow. She expects me to come with her, which I, of course, agreed to. But it's going to be right after her hair appointment. Also, it's been exceptionally stressful 2 weeks at work recently because the majority of my team is sick or on holiday. I'm just spiraling right now. I slept like 3 hours yesterday and felt physically nauseous. It really feels like if she loved me, she could pick any other freaking hairdo. And it's not even enough that she doesn't care what this does to me. She's now blaming me because me being a nervous wreck about it again, as she damn well knew exactly what would happen, is making her sad. So in her mind, it's not only expecting to put up with it. I can't show any negativity and have to act like nothing is wrong, or else she'll get sad. I feel trapped. It's stupid to act like this over a haircut, but my mental issues are making it a huge deal. It's like fingernails on chalkboard every time I even look at her. I can't not care about it because my stupid head is making me. she refuses to give an inch to any of it. This is my issue, and she'll have the exact buzz cut even harder now, to show how independent she is, or some stuff, and I'm supposed to go to therapy to learn to live with it. I just feel lost and tired right now. If I can't live with it, and it really feels like I can't, and she won't stop doing it, knowing what it's doing to me and our relationship, I'm afraid it's an irreconciled difference, and we'll have to separate. It's the dumbest reason ever, but there it is. Am I overreacting because my wife refuses to compromise on a haircut that is ruining my mental health? Edit. Thank you for everyone that took the time to write more than insults and tell me I have mental issues, which isn't news to me and shouldn't be to you. If you read the very first sentence of this post, thanks especially to Glad Talk for making me face that I'm being emotionally redacted. I'll have to see how I can get out of this mess now. Sir, it is a haircut. You are throwing this way out of proportion over a damn haircut. Also, I can absolutely guarantee you that if your wife happened to see this post and everything, and she knew it was about her, she wouldn't be feeling too comfy in the head either, because of the whole, I can't even look at her kind of thing that you got going on here. Also, on top of that, the whole thing, looking in the comments is I feel like I forgot something. Oh yeah, mentioning the obesity and the liberal side. What was the point of that? Because that had nothing to do with the haircut. I told my girlfriend that my best friend comes before her. I usually don't come to Reddit for things, but I don't know who to talk to about this. For a heads up, this is gonna be a long explanation. I, 18M, told my girlfriend, 17F, that she doesn't come before my best friend, 18M, who we are gonna call Zach for the sake of the story and not giving out his name. Zach and I met whenever I was in middle school in 6th grade, and he had just transferred from Japan to America. Zach wasn't really good with English, but when I had first met him, I would tease him for his English pronunciation, which sounds mean, but I promise it was with good intentions. It started off with me helping him improve his English because other students would actually make fun of him for it outside of teasing. Me and him grew really close, and he became like a brother to me. We started the football team together, which we both still are on, coming into our senior year this year. Boys' nights most weekends, we do matching backpacks every year, affectionate, send each other gift baskets, and each other's birthdays, because we both have July birthdays. Went on 2-mans together, worked out together, held each other when we would cry, inside jokes, nicknames, and glued together everywhere we go. Your typical best friend stuff. He was the best guy that I've met, and he has been there for me through the ups and downs. He hasn't ever doubted and always has stood by my side. And he just is one of those friends that you know you're gonna have by your side when you are old. I met my girlfriend, who we're gonna call Judith, and started a junior year, and we started dating closer to the end of the first semester. So we've been dating for about 8 months now. We started off as friends, but at the beginning of the year, and eventually I asked her out. She is an amazing girl, and I love her, but this is where the problem comes in. About 2 months ago, when the summer first started, she informed me of a family trip that her family was going on in early August for a week before school starts, and it was important to her, and I agreed to go because her family invited me. Then, last week, Zach informed me that he was going to be out of town for the rest of the month in Japan, due to losing his grandma, who had died there, and the funeral was there, and he was staying with his family there for a bit. He asked me that whenever he came back, if I could stay with him for a few days, because he wasn't doing well mentally. I immediately agreed, because I couldn't let him suffer on his own. And when he comes back, it'll be towards the last couple of days of Judith's family trip, which is where the problem occurred. I told Judith immediately after I agreed to stay with Zach that I wouldn't be able to make it, and explained what was going on with Zach. And she freaked out on me, and was saying that I always choose to hang out with him, and picked him over her. I tried to explain to her that he was my best friend, and I couldn't abandon him, and she told me that it was like he came before her. In the heat of the moment, I agreed with her and told her that she was right, and she didn't come before he did. After that, she blocked me on all socials. It's been about a week now, and she still won't talk to me. I am not sure if we are officially broken off because she blocked me for a week or two before the past when we would argue. I understand why she is mad. I am not sure what I'm looking for out of this, likely just advice and opinions on what I should do and what is the thought of the situation. Look, I can understand losing a relative and having a bad time and everything, and being there for your friend very much is important, but also, like you had stated, they're getting there 2 days before the thing that you already agreed to be on is already there, so you can still do the thing. You didn't need to completely reschedule or make yourself unavailable for the entirety of the trip. Me, I'm 30, and my wife, 23F, married for 1 year, 6 months. Our marriage is falling apart. How can I fix this? This is a burner account, and I don't intend on giving any personal information to keep our identity and locations discreet. Me, 30, wife, 23, have been together since September of 2024, met online, and it was love at first sight on our date at a local bar. Dated for 6 months and got married in February of 2025. Moved in together and stayed in an apartment in Georgia for a year until April of 2026. Backtrack to July of 2025 is about the time that she got pregnant with our first child while on vacation to Hawaii. She works for a hotel chain, so she gets crazy cheap discounts anywhere in the country. So, every couple of months or so, we would make the occasional hotel reservation to take advantage of her discount. This is important later. Around December, her pregnancy symptoms became concerning. Fainting spells, massive weight loss, irritability, headaches, etc. So she quit her job to stay at home, so I became the sole provider of our family. And am still now today, July of 2026. Fast forward to our son's birth in March of this year. December until now, the pregnancy was very hard on her and our son was born. C-section, a week shy of the 9-month mark. Very healthy, 9 pounds, no health problems whatsoever. We spent 3 days in the hospital until my wife was healed up enough to be discharged from the hospital. I was having a difficult time adjusting to the life of a father for the first couple of weeks after birth, and my wife wasn't having any of it. If she saw me in distress or unhappy, she would go out of her way to, even through her doctor, order her to take it easy, to do household chores or baby duties, and make me feel awful every step of the way, guilt-tripping me because I didn't do everything with a smile, and no complaints. Our parenting styles constantly conflicted, and we butt heads repeatedly about decisions regarding our son's life, and her helicopter parenting style, and her ability to trust me in caring for our child. Every new parent makes small mistakes, and I got burned by her every time I did something that could be conceived as harmful to our child. She would coach me every step of the way of his care, like he was a baby expert, even though I had experience with my siblings growing up when I was younger. Our 1-year lease was up on our Georgia apartment at the beginning of April. Also, my job was contract work had expired, so the following month after our son was born, we agreed to move back to my home state in Texas, away from her family, so I really expected her leaving them behind to move across the country with me, especially since she's actively recovering from her C-section at the same time and has been in constant pain. My mother helped us find an apartment that's within our budget. It is a low-income apartment, so some problems were to be expected, and we had to take her word for it being a safe home for our family, but has been nothing but a nightmare since we moved in. Every day, my wife would blame me, yelling at me for setting such a low budget for a 2-bedroom in North Texas, $1,500 a month after bills, and I have been unemployed since February, living off of savings, which she believes is that only low-income areas have millipede infestations. Maintenance has done nothing to solve this. I have struggled finding work every day since we moved in here in April, so I went to a job fair and had no luck finding any work again but I approached by a recruiter for a school that I can qualify for with government assistance for some much needed certifications to advance my technical knowledge. So I went home with this flyer and talked to my wife about it, and we came to an agreement that this class in California would give me the skills to land a very successful career shortly after graduation. She said that she could hold down the fort with our son for 6 weeks so that I could go to school. Found out halfway through my schooling that she got diagnosed with postpartum depression/rage. I was gone the whole month of June, and this millipede infestation got worse and worse, with her phobia of them made her lose her mind. So the blame game of subjecting her to living in these awful conditions continued every day for almost the entire 6 weeks, and unfortunately, right around the time I left our son, I started sleeping through most of the night, so the restless nights of infancy were coming to an end, but he was still very clingy and constantly cried when she would put him down. Now these are real problems, and the purpose of this post, that's been a major issue these past couple of weeks that I definitely need an outside perspective for. While at school, she had a very hard time caring about our son as the only main person caring for him and fighting a bug infestation at the same time. It turns out my son developed a serious rash across his body from them. I had offered her solutions and suggesting her to stay at my sister's house as she had a spare bedroom to escape the bugs. I gave her my mother and best friends to watch our son 2 days a week for a few hours so that she can have some alone time to take care of errands and herself because our son's been over clingy, needing 100% of her energy. And eventually, she stayed at a hotel for a couple of nights to cool off and decompress, but she still got progressively worse until one of these nights, she told me that she had to leave the apartment and take a flight to another state to get away since she's been alone and depressed. I called her multiple times a day, but what could I really do? And had told me nothing about her coming back. She had a meltdown and told me she regretted everything. Meeting me, having our son, called me a terrible husband, the whole 9 yards. I begged her not to leave with our child and to stay with the family, but she wouldn't budge and told me that she doesn't know if she would ever come back and ignored my calls after telling me all of that and told me to try to stop her. So, naturally, I panicked because I thought I'd never see my son again, and while still being stuck in California, mind you, so I made a bad judgment call and called my family at midnight and begged my mom with tears in my eyes to go get our son from my wife because she is packing to take him to another state the next day. So, she drove over to the apartment with my stepfather and completely caught her off guard, and she let them in and tried to manipulate them into thinking that everything is okay, but after about half an hour of talking to her and explaining that she can't just run away without my permission, and offering to watch our son for the night, they gave up and went home to let her be. So, she called me back and exploded, telling me that I got my family involved in our marital affairs, ambushed her in the middle of the night, and tried to kidnap our son from her when the entire time I was secretly on the phone listening to this whole exchange. So we talked about separating, and for the next couple of hours, with tears in my eyes, I cried out begging her to stay and keep our family together, which she agreed to give me another chance. Fast forward a couple of days, my mom offered me a rental car and a hotel room to meet her for the weekend in Vegas for her annually scheduled trip since it was a small drive from where I was in California. I didn't have to go to school on the weekends. I agreed, and later that day called my wife and told her where I was going, and she told me that if I go to Vegas with the people who tried to kidnap her baby, this is a turning point in our marriage. I thought she was being selfish just to punish my mom from not getting to see me, but later found out that after the trip she was having thoughts of redacted. So, against her wishes, I went to Vegas for the weekend because my mom's older and sick all the time with heart issues, and high blood pressure, so I did this because I didn't know how much longer she had. Fast forward to the present day today, when I got back from school, she told me to make it up to her for being gone for 6 weeks, and showed me a cheap hotel room in the Florida Keys with her hotel discount for $40 a night. 4 nights, but the only catch is the $2,300 airfare tickets to fly out there, and I told her no. We have enough savings to make it 3 more months, and I just got back from school, so I was still job prospecting, and had a few interviews lined up, but no job offers. But she insists that I'm going to get one of these jobs anyways, and we will be able to afford a new apartment. To escape the bug, since we got a medical document for our son from our doctor to waive the fees to get out of our lease. So she loses her mind and tells me that we are getting a divorce now if we don't figure something out in therapy this Saturday. This was a big rant, and I really appreciate you taking the time to read this, but I'm stuck. I don't know what to do, and I want to save my marriage and make things right. So Saturday is a big day for my marriage, and I want to know how I could make things right for her. How do I fix this? Edit. From what I've seen in the comments, let me rephrase one important detail that I didn't find important until brought up several times. She immigrated to America in 2020. Her only family in Georgia kicked her out to the dogs that she was living on her own for 2 years before I met her. She has fully disowned them and will never see them again. She would never return to them and has talked about returning to her home country, back to her parents' home. TLDR, wife went through a tough pregnancy, left Georgia a month after giving birth via C-section, living off of life savings, now moved back to Texas. We went to 6-week school to further education, and now she wants me to pay back the part-time and difficulties that she went through alone with a $3,000 vacation, even though I'm unemployed. But with that, that is going to have to be with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!